Hello, welcome to Rosebank Farm and Garden. I have a little plant haul today that I'm going to be getting out in the ground. And these were all from a flea market. There's another hanging basket, which I will show you where that's already up. The hanging baskets were 2 for $15. And these are hefty, like really heavy. And so full of plants. My goats got out and ate the sunflowers and the daisy and dahlia over there. The sunflowers were $2 a piece. And this whole flat, the whole flat, $6. And they allowed me to mix and match the flat. So I'm really excited about this buy. That was probably the best. Over here I have a gift, a butterfly bush. And I'm going to replace a wild berry echinacea that didn't survive in its spot. And these were also from the flea market. And again, look at that, my goats just snapped right off the blossoms. There was a dahlia and a daisy. And those were two for $3. I was so excited. I already got the other hanging basket in place. Again, really, really hefty, full of blooms. And I got my hook from Dollar General, like really cheap, like nice. And we decided to put it up high so it would be out of the way of anybody's head. Hopefully no bumps and boo-boos. The easiest thing to do next is hang up this other basket. And I'm going to use an S-hook to hang it on a tree limb. I'm over by our pool and pizza oven, and I have a lot of the warmer tones on this side. I went with more of a peachy pink geranium there. My roses are done blooming for now, but they are the lark ascending. They're a beautiful peach. I planted poppies in the snow, and I had a fair germination rate, but they're also on the warm tones. So I think I'm going to take down this hanging basket and move it somewhere else and put the one I got at the flea market here. So I am using an S-hook. Maybe you can see it better against the grass. There, that. The S-hook to hold up my hanging basket. I got this at Dollar General for just $1 or $2. And you just hook it over the tree limb and hang your basket on the bottom. Oh, that looks really nice. Yep, and the colors will match better with what I have planted. Next, let's go plant the wild berry echinacea or coneflower. It's the same kind as the other two that survived. So it should do well, I think, if I just move it up. Let's take a look at the tag for the echinacea. It's called Wild Berry Coneflower, perennial. Got it at Lowe's, full sun. And let me flip it over. Your zones 3, very winter hardy. This is the bottom of my driveway, and I had 3 coneflowers, and just look how good these 2 are doing. The third echinacea was closer to the front. In fact, right here is the poor thing. So I'm not sure why it didn't do well. It's really in the same area. And I like to stagger things in like a drift or uneven, but I think in this case, I'm just going to put the echinacea right there in a straight line because it'll look like it's in a curve on the driveway. So we'll see. I am going to amend the soil. When I planted the 3 last year, I just planted them, used Biotone starter fertilizer, and then I did sprinkle some horse manure on the top. I think this time I'm going to dig a deeper hole and fill the sides with the horse manure with the Biotone, and hopefully this one will survive just barely a foot from where its predecessor was. Over in a side yard alongside the road, down in here is where I dump all my garden scrap and weeds, and then right up here is where my horses like to poop, in that corner, and there's some really nice well-rotted manure there. They like to poop in this same corner, so I'm gonna have to scrape aside the fresh and get down to the well-rotted stuff underneath. That should be enough. It is well rotted, real nice crumbly texture, really dark. So yeah, close up of horse poop. There's Dexter, he's the big one, and Dusty, he's the little guy. Yeah, hey boys. So I'm gonna dig a fairly good sized hole. I wish I could use an auger, but in my area we have so many rocks and roots. There used to be a pine tree right, let's see, right there. So yeah, I'll be using a shovel. So now I'm gonna fill the hole and line the sides with the horse manure. They're all done, and when I take a step back here, it looks pretty centered, so I'm glad I went to the right side of the hole that I dug. So that'll catch up next year, and it'll be a really pretty spot. So I've never really grown SuperBells before. I prefer a petunia. It's got a bigger bloom, but these are really sweet, and I do like the yellow throat on all three of the colors. I have white, a pink, and a purple. And my thought was to mix all of them in the pots, but now I think I'm going to use one of the sunflowers as a centerpiece. This one that the goats ate the top off of has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has 5 buds on it to bloom soon. And I think I'm going to underplant the sunflower with the white SuperBells. I got this from the flea market. This is the only tag. It says Sunbuzz Sunflower. Poor thing's kind of been through a little bit, but hopefully it will do very well in this container. All right, so when I plant things of 3, I like to think about planting in a Y. That way oh, these are soaking wet from the rainstorm. So I'm going to plant these in a Y around the sunflower. And then right here in front. It looks a little bit sparse. I might have to pick up some more plants to fill in. All right, let's see if the SuperBells match the petunia hanging basket. Ooh, I think that's pretty close. So I have an empty spot right here in front of our Fat Albert, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put the same color of SuperBells in the ground. And that would be a little experiment because the Fat Albert is here, and if I just go over slowly, yep, there's my mess. There's the pot we just planted. SuperBells are in the ground. I think they're going to look really nice there. And they are SuperBells Black Currant Punch. And let me step back. And I think that's just going to brighten up that spot and complement each other and Fat Albert. I can't count today. There was 10. So I actually have 4 of the SuperBells Black Currant Punch. So I'll probably go stick that over with the others. The last set of 3 that I'm going to plant is SuperBells Blue. The other 2, the white SuperBells over Easy and the Black Currant, those are in full sun locations. Now I'm going to try the part sun location for these 3. So over here in my side yard, this gets full sun in afternoon and evening. but it's in the shade morning till noon, early afternoon. So I'm going to fit these in here. So I have Harlow Car roses, and look, I have one still hanging in there. How pretty is that? And then there's nothing in front of them in this space right here. SuperBells are planted right in front of the Harlow Car roses. I am driving myself nuts with decision making today. I am so indecisive and I keep changing my mind. My first thought was that I would put the fourth black currant SuperBells over with the rest, but then I thought if I'm doing an experiment, we need to do a true experiment with these. So the white over easy are in a pot in full sun. The black currant are in the ground in full sun. The blue are in part sun, part shade in the ground. And the last one is in a pot with the black currant again, part sun, part shade. So now we have a true experiment with plants in the ground in the sun and plants in the ground in the shade, and also for pots. So we'll just see how the SuperBells do in these different conditions, because I've never really grown them before, but they were such a good buy. I have 4 plants left, and this is tough. Each plant is different from the other. I usually like to buy in groups of 3 or more to make an impact in the landscape, but each one of these will have to be placed as a specimen plant or to add to the colors in the flower bed. So let's start with the dahlia on the left. This is from the flea market. The goats ate the dahlia right off the top. Look at that. Oh. But it was kind of a pink to purple, so I think I'm going to add this over to purple circle flower bed. This circular flower bed here in the middle of the yard, my husband named it Purple Circle because most of the plants in here are purple or white. And I'm sure we can tuck this dahlia in here somewhere. Well, it looks like there's a nice empty spot right here in between the 2 soaker hoses. And so I think we're just going to pop the dahlia in there. Okay, I think that adds to the space. And look here, there's a bud there and a bud right there. So I know I'll have at least a couple blooms here in a week or so. Just for fun, I want to show you this little frog that I found when I was weeding. I asked my husband if he put the frog there in Purple Circle, and he said he didn't, but it was sitting just like that as I was weeding around the flower bed. So I left it there, but I don't know who put it there. Next, I'm going to plant this daisy. This is the other flea market 2 for $3 plants that's been eaten by my goats. It did have a very pretty yellow daisy on it. This flower bed is in my front yard. It gets full-on afternoon sun, as you can see under there. I think this was a good spot for the daisy. The soil is moist right there, so I know it'll get water from the drip hose. Over here, not so much. I think it was running more downhill. This is very dry, so I need to spot water over here. The soaker hoses help, but they're not 100% for all of the plants. Well, this is the sidewalk to my swimming pool deck, and I have a lot of yellow back here by the bird bath. And I have a lemon zest rose here on the right, and I have a purple pillar behind that, and like my wall hanging pot from the flea market. I'm really excited to get that hung up. But I think there's a nice open space right here, and I think it might just be really happy and fun to see the sunflower growing here, or maybe over here by the alligator. These are all black-eyed Susan, so we're going to repeat that same color. So maybe by our alligator there in the corner. Decided to put the Sunbuzz sunflower here straight in at the end of the sidewalk. because I thought if I put it with all the other black-eyed Susans, it would be too much of the same color. But right here, it'll stand out and complement the sedge. One more plant to get in the ground. This is from my friend Cecilia, and she found it in clearance. She's my kind of girl. And so you can see from the tag how beautiful this butterfly bush would be. Buzz Velvet. And I know butterfly bushes prefer full sun, so we're gonna go try to find a full sun location for this. Well, I'm back at the tree house again, and this spot at the bottom of the support post underneath that first hanging basket, it does get full sun early morning and most of the day, and even in the evening. It's not too bad. It's hard to find a full sun location on my farm. I have a lot of shade trees, so we're gonna, and I'd like to develop this anyways for where the children play. Yeah, so let's make a new flower bed right here. Now, butterfly bushes like their root ball to be slightly above the level of the soil. That's going to be a little bit hard to do because we're on a slope, but I'm going to try my best to make sure the top of the plant is above soil level. There, that looks a lot better with a little bit of mulch around this new little flower bed. I think the butterfly bush, once it establishes itself and blooms, that'll be just a beautiful addition to the hanging basket and my other flower pots in this area. I hope you enjoyed this video as I put some more plants around in my garden. I know that I sure did. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.